run. I never would have expected Chase to play Sonic.
I would.
I never would have guessed that in a million years.
At Riptide a couple months ago, Chase lost to Sunito in singles and got so angry that I watched him lab Sonic for 3 hours straight. And he said, I'm picking up this dumbass character and will never lose to him again. And it was one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. It was like that was his expression of rage, was labbing Sonic in Smash Brothers Ultimate.
That is a very Chase thing to say, for sure. It's a shame that, Sonic is not quite as powerful in terms of a timer running machine in Squad Strike, because you just only have one.
You only
Sonic
have one
stock.
one Sonic stock counts for 3 if you never get hit.
Well, it's true, and that's kind of what Chase has started off to try and do, but Diddy Kong actually does match up into that kind of playstyle very favorably, especially, if you're starting out with Sonic, you tend to stay very grounded most of the time. That's where you have access to a lot of speed, but never mind that I'm saying Chase on that ledge trap says, sit down and shut up.
He definitely saw Sonics do that one time and figured it out in the lab, but Shu's tried and true comes out and makes quick work of the fledgling Chase Sonic. And now we gotta wait for Aegis to load.
Yep. The few seconds extra. Hey, paired with Sonic,
yeah,
if you're going for that timer.
You should. The optimal Squad Strike combo is Aegis, Pokemon Trainer, and Sonic. And you run the timer with the load time of those two characters, and then time out with Sonic. We figured it out. That's the meta.
Well, all that aside, though, we do see another one of these situations where, with Shu, the main is in the middle, trying to match up against as many characters as possible. You saw that be very helpful against the Sonic, right? Immediately had kill confirms available, knowing what percents you're looking for this or that. But now going up against the Aegis, trying to get things started. That Mythra is one of those few characters in the game that can overall keep up with the mobility of a ZSS, and Pyra with that raw kill power says, get that out of here.
Yeah, Shu is having a very hard time pinning down the Mythra, but now has the opportunity to make it count, and the weight is beautiful off the top. No, not quite. Not enough damage, not enough rage, but the damage is starting to rack up. Now Chase gets his opportunity to fire back against Shu, and he's going to take it in stride all the way into the back air. No uppy to follow it up. Chase fast falls too early. Interesting.
Ooh, I love the idea of the dash attack right there, but Chase's recovery is well-timed. Now looking for the big conversions on the platform. That wait for the air dodge was beautiful. That's great analysis of risk versus reward from Chase right there, knowing that, okay, and one of those things that you have to understand on defense where, okay, if I don't air dodge, I'm probably going to get forward aired, I go off stage, and, it's pretty guaranteed damage. But if I do air dodge right above the platform, I'm going to be stuck on there, kind of like you were talking about with Bayonetta. And you're going to end up eating that down air. And then into that up smash, and you die at, 50 when you got down aired, versus taking that forward air and going back off stage. And Chase was like, look, at this percent, it's worth it for me to go for this because, again, risk-reward. All I'm going to get out of this is a forward air. So why not go for the bigger thing? And if I don't get it, I missed out on 15% in stage control.
Yeah, it's the fact that you don't lose out on too much if you miss, and you get the entire world if you hit. And that's a thing that a lot of players at the top echelon are so good at. Now though, Chase is going to be swapping out that Sonic at the start for a Bayonetta, and Shu bringing out the Diddy Kong. But I've seen Shu's Diddy Kong, a very, very strong Diddy. And all right, we already saw a witch twist into nothing into fall on the banana. This is maybe one of the best Bayonettas I've ever seen.
Well, and you know what, to be fair, this is not the easiest matchup for Bayonetta. And, I said that about Sonic earlier, where it's like, okay, you want to stay grounded, and Diddy Kong controls the ground, and you go, okay, well, why would this be tough for Bayonetta? Because she spends all her time in the air, and she controls that spot. So why is Diddy Kong difficult? Well, if Diddy Kong stays on the ground, he's got that very low profile, and it can be hard for Bayonetta to get some things started. Great recovery from Shu, and Chase is not Lima, apparently.
Chase is trying to play Fundy's Bayo, and that's not a thing. You have to play Bayo.
There is no such thing as Fundy's Bayo.
He was trying to read an air dodge with a down air and a dash, and sure, you'll get a little bit of damage off that, but if you're not doing Bayo things, Bayo doesn't function.
I had an idea a while ago that I wanted to go to the locals. I guess I can do this now that Lima's moved out. I wanted to go to locals and just ditto everybody for the entire bracket, but I was like, but if I run into Lima, I'm never going to be able to do anything. Yeah, because I've never played Bayonetta in my life.
So Lima and I played this quote-unquote game where it was my random versus his Bayo, but if I take one stock, I win.
Okay.
And I had to Iron Man it. And my Terry made him so angry that the game ended.
That's very
because
funny.
all I did was let him combo me to 100% without SDIing and then spam go
And then go moves,
And
yeah.
all I had to do was get one stock.
That tracks. And speaking of go, we got to go back to this match because Shu's Diddy Kong is running this game right now. She is doing an excellent job of controlling the pace. Of course, didn't help that, Chase had that SD with the Bayonetta, but, even against the Aegis right now, look at the fundies coming out, not being in range of anything. And this is what we were talking about, right? Leading off with a really solid character so that you can take the lead and take control of the pace of the game. And that's exactly what Shu is doing right now. Although that Nair flying in does take that stock. Chase does get him back to even. We see the Yoshi this time from Shu instead of the Mario.
I didn't even notice that the Yoshi was also added to the roster. Back air there, not quite going to be enough to KO, but just being able to drift, follow Pyra along there with Yoshi's insane air mobility. Just throws out that Nair as soon as the invincibility ends, and that's the stock. Now, though, Chase, his tried and true, it's his turn. The Palu coming out, and you are going to take a lot of damage before you get the opportunity to touch grass once more.
This is also really difficult for Shu because this matchup is famously bad for Yoshi. Because you know what Palutena does against Yoshi? I've been told by multiple Palutenas. Do you know what you do against Yoshi as Palu?
What's that?
This is how you win the game. You back air it.
Oh, interesting.
And then you win.
I don't think that's just against Yoshi, if I'm being honest with you.
But against Yoshi in particular, there is nothing he can do about you just standing there and back airing.
Well, got 63% up on to Chase, though, so she is going to be able to have a very fair shot at closing this one out with the ZSS. Main versus main, and Chase teleports a little bit too late and just eats a flip kick. 0% on Shu, and she brings us to game number 3.
It is so easy to envision a world where, the best ZSS players in the world to play her like the absolute lamest thing you've ever seen because she has the tools for that to be possible. But how blessed are we for Shu and Mars to be, especially in North America, the two best ZSSs that you're going to watch most of the time, and they're both cool as hell. How lucky are we?
Very lucky, and Shu kind of stepping into the sometimes blank shoes that Mars left behind. When he does, decide to compete, he does it with the best of them, but doesn't do it all that often. We saw him go on a crazy run at SmashCon a couple months ago and then step back into the content cave. So
as much as I enjoy watching Mars react to Yeet Smash Unexpected Moments number 13, I do also enjoy watching. It's probably a lot farther than that.
Number 700.
I think they stopped numbering them. But I would like to see. Let's go to more tournaments. But Shu definitely fills a great chunk of that void because what I want to see Void, another character. Anyways. But I do enjoy seeing. Yeah, press 1 if that was really bad. As I said,
they're all watching ads right now. Apparently, I see them complaining in chat.
Saved by the ads. But no, Shu definitely gets to fill some of that void in the heart where I'm just like I want to see some sick, crazy aggressive ZSS, and Shu definitely does that, and we may get to see it some more. We are going to get to see Chase's Cloud as we go into this game number 3, so that's going to be a replacement for some of the other characters we've seen and get that limit out of here, get the Diddy out of here almost.
Yeah, and that's another thing, too. We talked about it earlier with the Cloud that we saw from MFA, where, Chase very obviously knows how to back air and he knows how to space his jumps just by virtue of playing Palutena, and so Cloud should just function for him, and it very clearly is functioning right now. Shu, though, with a quick monkey flip from the corner, to at least regain a little bit of stage control and get the banana in hand. Without losing the banana, rather.
Mm-hmm. He does get to continue to have it. And, of course, if Cloud does decide to land, right, if you can catch that timing, then, I think at 88%, you're probably not getting the stock yet. Got to burn that limit, though, and Shu, again, holding on to this banana right now.
Oh,
99?
That was half a second away from an angel drop. Chase letting the Legend Invincibility run out, but Shu just not quite quick enough on the uptake. Still, though, going to be able to get the classic banana F smash. And Chase, look at his face. He looks like Shu just I don't even know.
He looked like Shu suddenly transformed Diddy Kong into Steve for 5 seconds.
It was like a terminal diagnosis coming at him.
I wouldn't say it was quite that.
You saw the way the face that Chase made.
I am now having a vision in my head of a skit of a Smasher getting a diagnosis I'm sorry, it's terminal, and they FGC nod.
What? No!
TT's go
GG's.
next. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
That's terrible.
I should have teched that. You're right.
No. No. Back to the game.
Back to the game. Press 1 if that was a terrible joke.
1.
1. Yeah, indeed. Now, Aegis against the Yoshi. I'm surprised to see so much of this Yoshi because I do feel like so many of these characters from Chase just match up well against Yoshi, particularly the two that have stuck around, the Palu and the Aegis. Because, I mean, sword characters against Yoshi, that's a really big struggle for him. Because, like you said, the air drift is the really big attraction for Yoshi. That's where he gets a lot of, the malleability that is so crucial to his gameplay and opens up a lot of those combos. But when you just have a big sword that you can throw around, you don't get to just mess around with that space. And look at what Chase has been able to do to this poor dinosaur.
Yeah, the larger, oh wow, great F tilt on the get up attack. But the larger you have, like the more space you have the ability to control with a character, like for example Pyra being able to cover that much space with each sword swing and her mobility, the more Yoshi has to be precise with his microspacing, and the more difficult it gets to play that. It's kind of just like a difficulty slider being turned up. And unfortunately for Shu, that's not her character, so she usually doesn't have to worry about that kind of microspacing with Yoshi. Had to worry about it for a little bit, didn't work out, and now air dodge is a little high. Chase could have punished that, and he still might know everything whiffing, and that was his opportunity to close out the game. Shu could take this away because of that.
Oh, yeah, that quick back air. Looks like that didn't catch the double jump, but Shu missed timing that flip kick that would have been able to seal that stock against the Photon Edge. Chase
more down tilts.
I mean, just looking for the panic air dodge, after the down tilt, but not even going to be necessary. Just the back air, and it's enough.